Thank you so much. Hello, my name is Tiiwon Siaway. I am from Montgomery, Alabama, born and raised, and I am an artist. I love to create art that is surreal, colorful, vibrant. I enjoy using elements that can play on different light sources, so UV friendly artwork or glow in the dark pieces as well. And that translates also into some apparel customizing and a practice that I like to call graphic note taking, which is where I sit in a room while discussions are happening and I absorb what's being said and translate it into a concise visual summary. So graphic note taking is kind of the inspiration for the project that I proposed for my Causability grant. And I'll be collaborating with a nonprofit called Black Women Rest, which was founded by June Young, who also lives here in Montgomery. And her focus is about providing space for Black women to literally just rest and indulge in breath work or meditative practices as a way to just release the pressures of society or whatever they have going on, which is super important. And the project is called BWR Illuminates. And it's a three-phase project to promote a strengthened sense of community and identity among Black women in the Montgomery and River Region area. Um, the first phase of the project is about creating community space. So we're going to be creating a space for everyone to come together. We are reaching out to different demographics of Black women and girls and bringing them together to have conversation with different themes in order to just have a safe space where they can share and also decompress afterwards. So during that first phase called Black Women Reflect, I will be listening into those discussions and documenting through the graphic note-taking process. And that will start over the summer of 2025. During phase two, which we're calling Black Women Represented, I will be kind of finalizing the creative work. So touching up the graphic note-taking artworks, but also creating other artworks inspired by those discussions, which could take form through paintings or digital media as well. Um, so the conversations had in phase one will serve as the inspiration for all of that, all of the creations for phase two, which will also be used to create merchandise like tote bags, t-shirts, stickers, and things like that as a fundraising effort. Um, and then in phase three, Black Women Reimagined. We will be putting together a comprehensive gallery and showcase, which will open a call to other creatives in our community to submit artwork or dance or poetry or music, anything inspired by the broad theme of transformative rest. And we will just have like a big closing celebration, talk about our grant work, and also feature the merchandise and pieces created in phase two to sell as part of the fundraising effort. And a portion of the proceeds will go to Black Women Rest. So that is what we're going to be working on over the next few months.
You're in Montgomery. One of our winners was in now I'm already forgetting the name of the town, but was in a town.
Azul Farm. It's
Well,
Azul.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
Freedom Farm.
Freedom Farm, yeah,
Yeah.
Farmers Wool, yeah. So I didn't know if you got.
Drew, you know Drew?
I don't know Drew, but I know Jasmine
Yeah,
who owns
runs
the
it.
farm.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
Is that
So,
how you heard about the grant?
Actually, no. Perhaps, okay, June from Black Women Arrest is actually who reached out to me and told me about it and said that she would like to collaborate. But when I went on the website, that's when I saw Freedom Farm and I was like, oh snap, like
Yeah,
Jasmine has been here before.
that's
Nice.
so cool.
Yeah, I really like the idea, this like Black women focused concept, especially in Alabama. It's kind of like it's kind of interesting concept of like when depending on where you go, it's like Black women have like kind of like shape the culture, but also are roundly ignored. It's a weird dichotomy of because like it's like Black women are raising people, but once the people are a certain age, or it's definitely culturally, it's just like there's a lot of like a lot of people, especially in like corporate environments, a lot of Black women are ignored. It's just weird, like the strength of Black women in a lot of spaces is what like keeps culture going, especially especially like corporate culture, I spent a lot of time in call centers. Call centers would not exist without Black women, and just the strength of just like, no, this is my job, this is, I'm going to get this done, and it's like there's a lot of like things that would not work without like the strength that Black women have. And yet when it comes to like collaboration or working with them, or even raise, like getting in higher promotions or it's like they're always passed up. And so giving these women, especially a place to just vent, but also give a place to just build each other up as well, and listen, and then from that have some sort of creative outlet as well. I like the idea of like, sure, you're taking notes, as like of the meetings and stuff like that, but then also go, okay, what do these notes represent on a more kind of ephemeral or visual like medium as well. It's a very interesting concept.
Thank you. And I just kind of acknowledging that point of like the visibility aspect is super low when there's so much labor just across different industries of Black women. But yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
So are the participants going to be learning how to do the graphic notes too, or how do they, or do you just give prompts and they have discussions, or?
So I'm kind of following June's setup that she already has for a lot of her sessions, which is like come in, there's usually food, and the discussions happen very organically. I am going to create like a list of prompts and bring in some facilitators to lead the discussions, but it is kind of a more casual format. And then as far as the graphic note taking, typically I will kind of give an intro to what graphic note taking is because a lot of people are not familiar with that practice. Um, so I'll just let them know like, hey, I'm present and I'm absorbing what you guys are saying, and I'm going to be like in the corner of the room wherever I'm set up, just kind of documenting in that creative format throughout, just so that they know that I'm doing that and what it is. But as far as having like a class or workshop on graphic note taking, I haven't added that as part of the grant, but it is something that I offer in the community already.
That's cool.
And it sounds like you could do something like informally, like let's say the meeting ends and someone like comes and talks to you about what you're working on. Then informally you can go like, oh, this is the concept, and then you can then as from there also kind of like, also, hey, I have my own workshops, but we're still like later on, so there's still some informal stuff. I could see that happening as well. You know,
Mhm.
some what do they call natural, and it's not natural, but the natural engagement, or grassroots or something like that. It's actually like genuine and good interest.
Right. Right. Like let them kind of gravitate towards the piece as it's coming together. And that's kind of why I like doing it on site because they can see how I am kind of translating their stories too.
Also,
Yeah.
I like how your phases are all interconnected as well. So essentially, like, the meeting, and then from the meeting, it's the art. From the art, it's the merchandise. So it's all just kind of like flowing in on top of each other, and kind of cross pollinating. And so essentially, it is kind of a teachable moment throughout it as well, because it's like because you're also showing like, hey, from this from you're part of this process from conceptualization to application, and that's something that can like also kind of spread this message of as well.
Yes, that's the goal.
So, what do you hope to accomplish? What's your main, what would make you really happy when you complete this project? What's your goal, to raise money or help awareness? Or do you have an ultimate goal, or do you have many?
I have many. Ultimately, the goal is exposure. Black Women Rest has been doing a lot of groundwork over the past year since kind of being established and landing like in the community really successfully, and I just want to keep supporting that effort. So exposure for Black Women Rest, exposure for graphic note taking. I feel like it's really such an underrated skill and tool, and I feel like as I've explained it to others and as I've seen a need for it, I I want to support people in their learning. As a former well, I am still an educator, but I worked in the Montgomery public school system for a year last year.
Mhm.
So I'm just kind of seeing the need for tools for retaining learning
Mhm.
and wanting people to feel like they can do that without needing artistic skills, but being able to really just associate visuals with memories and with words and simple keys for how we already understand things. So
Mhm.
exposure for Black Women Rest, exposure for graphic note taking, and just supporting the arts as always.
Mhm.
As a visual artist, I try to just plant as many seeds as possible and create opportunities, not just for myself, but for others to showcase their work. And I feel like having this art call at the end and just inviting everyone to celebrate with us and see what we're doing
Mhm.
and feel like they can be a part of it is definitely like my third ultimate goal.
I love it. I'm very interested in graphic note taking. This is the first time I think I may have heard of it before, but I've never really been exposed to anyone as yourself that is actually using it. So if it would help my memory. Oh, I see that image. That reminds me of, okay, the visual cues. I think that's
Well,
beautiful.
because people all learn in different ways, and
Yeah.
sometimes when you're like you're sitting there and you're doing the note taking, and you kind of wonder, is anyone actually going to read these notes? Like, I'm taking the sides, like, is anyone going to like come back and actually like flip through? And whereas like if you come back with like visual representation, the people who aren't good at like retaining information with by just reading just paragraphs of notes, they'll go, oh yeah, we did talk about that. Oh yeah, we did talk about that. Okay, yeah, that's right. That's something we discussed, and so I could definitely see the benefit for like different people learning in different ways, and people who are visual learners, who are typically artists, will be like, oh yeah, no, I remember that. I remember us discussing that like pretty quickly. So that's a really good idea.
I grew up with a graphic note taker. My mother was a graphic note taker. When she was on the phone, she would doodle and she's an artist. She would
Okay.
doodle and do drawings and write script and make the key points and put bullet points, and she was always, and that would help her memory to write it down. She doesn't do that. She's 89 now. She doesn't do that as much, but as she used to, because she doesn't talk on the phone that much. Uh,
Right.
but I was exposed to that. I don't know how, if you really call that graphic note taking, but I think that's probably what she was trying to do and didn't even know what to call it.
Exactly. Exactly. Everybody has doodled something while like sitting in class before, and we just haven't really had the language to explain a process for it. So that's like the exposure element.
Mm-hmm.
I have been fortunate enough to like bring this practice to platforms like American Civil Liberties Union, some of their closeouts or their conferences, and it has always been well received as an alternative for just a typical
Shorthand or
shorthand summary or even
AI
the
or
email that's sent out after the conference, like, hey, here's what we talked about. It's just an additional
mhm.
um, offering that can help bridge the learning barrier.
I noticed you said something about creating products. Do you have a platform that you work with now?
I have not created any print material. Well, not print, but like merchandise for t-shirts or anything like that. But we do have a network or like I guess you could call it a collective of um local businesses that offer screen printing and like sticker designs and things like that. So I've just been waiting for waiting for the opportunity to collaborate with them.
But when it comes to printing on merchandise, you said you're going with a printmaker or you're gonna try to go with one that's in the community and like kind of like lift up another communal um, organization, right?
That's the
Is your plan?
goal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we definitely appreciate that, really. Like because the whole point is to elevate community. Earlier, you talked about how Black Women Rest is kind of like still building its way there, and that's why we kind of like working with people who are working with these smaller nonprofits because there's so much time. There's so many like nonprofits who can get off the ground, get the 501c3 status, and then they sit there and they go, oh, now there's literally nothing I can do. Like because now it's like okay, because you look at how these giant nonprofit organizations they spend millions of dollars on just donation drives alone and having people like mailers and constant email reminders, and so it's just like so and there's only so much money out there from this pool, and someone's like, well, I already spent like $20 to NPR this month. It's like so it's like it's almost like all these like nonprofits who have all this passion and interest of helping the direct community are being kind of like strangled by these like major national brands, and it's kind of like I like the idea of like you want to give this specific nonprofit the chance to at least breathe and kind of expand um, their message and also expand their reach by like, oh, well, if we start selling this stuff, they'll get a proceeds of every piece of merchandise we sell based off of the
Yeah.
graphic print, so that's I like that you're like this is again like the fact that that's probably one of the things that like we're not the judges of who gets like picked, but like we still kind of look at the submissions as they come in here and there. We kind of try to like stay away because we don't want to like because we talk to the judges here and there about like goals and stuff like that, but we don't want to ever be like, oh, we really love this one, so we kind of like try to stay away from um the submissions until they make their suggestions. But one thing that really drew me to your entire application, but also just uh, your um, your request is just how like everything flows in on itself and self perpetuates, and like it's like you have this plan of how everything like starts and how it's supposed to like go through and like, I like how like you're like, very forward thinking in that regard.
The plan is the plan.
Yeah, yeah.
And, hopefully things come about the way they are planned to, but I definitely have room for how it could evolve, change, grow.
It does seem better when the nonprofit is the person who's reached out like to the artist, because it shows the nonprofit is like gonna be there as a real partner, um And so the fact that they have a location, they already have, like, this is already an established thing. Usually we go for grants that are doing a new thing for the nonprofit, and your new thing is what you're bringing to it. You know, but the fact that this is something that they do regularly shows already that it's probably going to be fine. It's just, we know, because you don't have like the partnership with that print company, so like right now, so you're building that, so where we just know that, hey, there's going to be things to go through this process and that we're here for you, is what I'm trying to just.
Well, thank you. I
Mhm.
appreciate that.
So
It's
when is
reassuring.
can you go through your timeline again? You said the first one's in
Yeah,
May.
I have Black Women Reflect was May to July is what I'm showing here.
Yes. May to July. So that would basically give us like a month to plan something or and get promotional materials out on social media, secure a venue, and June was also letting me know that she has collaborations with venues already. So I was like, great.
Yeah.
Whatever, like wherever you feel like we should be, I'm willing to go. Like I will bring the easel, we'll set up the food, and whatnot. But the conversations I am looking forward to definitely in summertime.
Mm.
Just because we can access more people,
Yeah.
and reach out to some different age groups as well. I will just say I am really excited for this opportunity to bring an idea to life.
Mhm.
Um, I don't have a lot of experience with grant work, so I am just really grateful, and I am appreciative of the support that y'all have given. Um, and I'm excited. I'm just really excited. I'm excited to activate the community, especially. I really love offering people the opportunity to think creatively, especially um, adults, because it can be more difficult for us to kind of reach into those parts of ourselves on the day to day. Even for me as an artist, I have to really focus on keeping that muscle strong. So, for these women and teens and girls who are going to be participating, I'm just excited to hear their stories, hear what they have to share, and allow them the space to release in different ways and be seen, and help them build confidence. So,
Mhm.
I,
Is
that's my piece. I'm excited. Thank you so much.
All
Talk
right.
to you soon.
Take care. Bye
Have a good
bye.
one.